My name is Mike Harper. I'm the historian for the Fannin County Sports Hall of Fame, which means I dig up all the biographies of potential members. Once a year, we send those. We have nominees, and we send those the biographies of the nominees to the members of our board, 20 members on our board, and to existing members of the Hall of Fame, and they vote. And each year, this year, we plan to induct 12 new individuals and one team, which is the same number we inducted in our inaugural class last year. Nothing magic about 12. It's just the number that we have that we've hit upon right now. In future years, it may be 6, maybe 8, maybe 10.
So is there a limit on the number of people / teams that can be inducted at one time?
The limit this year is 12.
Okay.
That's just an arbitrary number. This is only our second class. We'll probably have more stricter rules as we go along. But right now we're a new organization. We've got our first class in the Hall of Fame. We're working on our second one. And we will announce members of that class a week from Friday at the Recreation Center in Blue Ridge. But in future years, as I said, the classes could be more, could be less.
The nominees are unlimited. You know, there could be all kinds of nominees, but the election process takes care of that.
All right, and your name, sir?
Tom Foster. I'm on the board of directors, and I was inducted into the first class.
And what you were inducted last year?
As a coach, yes.
Now, as a coach, now talk a little bit about being a Hall of Famer and then being on the board as well.
Okay. Fannin County is the only school system I've ever worked in. I came here in the fall of 1958 and coached basketball for 14 years. And really and truly, I don't know why they asked me to serve on the board of directors, but we have an outstanding board of directors, and I'm just a member.
All right, sir. Thank you very much.
My name's Don Clement, and I'm the treasurer of the Fannin County Sports Hall of Fame. It's a labor of love, something I love doing. I really enjoy the opportunity to serve on this board. Basically, I'm the money man. I do the bookkeeping, handle all the financial transactions, pay all the expenses, things that you would expect a treasurer to do.
And how do you guys raise money for this endeavor?
Well, we sponsored a golf tournament. We've sold tickets to our banquet. And we had a horseshoe tournament that was rained out, but it's scheduled to take place in October. And then we rely on public donations, which the community has been very generous and enabled us to get a real good start for our first year.
And you, sir?
My name is T.J. Thompson. I'm one of the 20 board members, and it's the best group I've ever dealt with in any way. And we just do outstanding work. I mean, all 20 board members, and I'm just honored to be a member of the board.
Now,
I was also inducted into this first class too as a basketball player.
You, sir, are also a Hall of Famer yourself.
That's true.
Now, I want to ask you guys, just how did the process of having a Hall of Fame come about, and what went into picking that first class?
Let me, if you don't mind, answer part of that. Denson Hamby, I think the guy you talked to on the phone, was the person that really came up with the ideal of having a Hall of Fame. And he called me probably maybe a year or so ago, about a year, and about the ideal of maybe getting this started. And the first meeting we had was composed of myself, Vincent, and Tommy Hamby. And then we decided we would go forward with it. And when we started just brainstorming and getting real good people, we knew that knew Fannin County sports and good people to be on the board, and we finally come up with a 20-person board, and then we've just gone forward since.
Now, you guys today are actually going to be counting the ballots.
That's correct.
And what entails what will the ballots decide? Because you said you plan on putting 12 teams in. Who votes?
Okay, each of the 20 members of the board have one vote.
Secret ballot.
Secret ballot. Also, the existing members of the Hall of Fame are encouraged to vote. So we had, and we have nominees from anyone. So we had a number of people nominated. We sent out the ballots. We gave everyone about a month or so to get the ballots back in. Today's our cutoff. So we are here today to count the ballots, and after that, first thing we'll do is inform the inductees as a matter of courtesy that you are a member of the Hall of Fame. Of course, we'll also inform the other members of our board. That'll happen tonight and tomorrow. And then next Friday, we will have a formal ceremony, as I think I said before, at the Recreation Center on Highway 5 between Kaysville and Blue Ridge, at which time we will have a formal dedication of our Hall of Fame. We have plaques installed at the Recreation Center. Probably everybody in the area doesn't know that yet, so we're going to officially unveil those to the public. As a secondary purpose for that session, we will formally announce the members of the 2014 class. It will be 12 individuals, former basketball, football, wrestlers, coaches, whatever, and one team. We honor one team every year for outstanding accomplishment as a team. Last year we inducted the 1945-46 Fannin County High School, which at that time was located in Morganton. Girls team. They finished with a 28-1 record and went all the way to the finals of the state tournament in Macon before finally losing.
Wow.
Great success story. So that was our first team. We induct that entire team. There were also two outstanding individual members of that team. Well, there were more than that, but two made All-State. We inducted those two ladies as individuals, as part of our 12. So we had the 12 individuals plus the team. This year's format will be almost identical. 12 individuals and one team. As time goes by, we will tweak that process and maybe have more or less, probably fewer people as time goes on, because we're a fairly small county, and we don't want to run out of nominees too quickly. So, but this year, 12 people, and the public can find out who those 12 people are a week from Friday when we make the announcement. We hope to have the press there. We hope to have you folks there, the written press, and we've also contacted some other types of media. So that's the process. Anybody can nominate a former athlete for consideration. We have nomination forms, so anyone who thinks they know someone who's deserving, at least 30 years old at the time of the induction. We ask nominators to do the research, send us the material, we take it from there.
So is that the only criteria? Is that as long as the person is 30 or older, they can be nominated? Now they may not get in, but they can be nominated.
That's a big one. We also have, historically, this area, until 1940, there was no high school in McKaysville. So all kids who grew up on this side of the river, to go to high school, they either went to Copper Hill High School up on the hill there, or they had to go way out to the country to go to Epworth or Morganton. So we have some residence requirement. Before we had high schools in Georgia, we could have people who lived in Georgia who went to Tennessee schools. So there is a kind of a
that makes sense.
A nebulous residence requirement.
That makes sense.
It's the Fannin County Sports Hall of Fame, so we want Fannin County people.
Right. So that does include people who are from Fannin County but may have excelled at a Tennessee high school.
Correct. Yeah.
That makes sense.
That's correct.
I believe we've had 26 voters this year, am I correct?
So we sent out 26 ballots this year. 20
board members.
For the board members and 6 for the living inductees. Plus Coach Foster and TJ and one other gentleman are both members of the Hall of Fame and also members of the board. So we had a maximum of 26 votes.
Now, I'd like you gentlemen to just talk a little bit about the feeling you had when you found out that you were inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Wow. I was fortunate enough to be inducted as a player in my hometown, Lenore City, Tennessee in 2005. And I knew a little bit about the Hall of Fame procedure and everything. And then when we started the Hall of Fame in Fannin County, I was chosen to go in as a coach. And I felt very honored, very blessed to receive that honor. And of course, you know what makes a good coach, good players. I was fortunate enough to have some great players.
Now, how many of your former players have been inducted so far?
2, 3.
Coach Carlton?
Yeah, 4. Yeah, I was an assistant football coach for a few years, and I coached some of the football players and spring basketball.
4. Johnny Farmer, TJ, Mike Harkness, Carl.
Yeah.
4.
And you, sir? You had,
The thing is, when you get too old to play anymore, the only thing that you kind of have is memories. And sometimes you forget those. But getting put into the Hall of Fame brought back a lot of good memories of people I played with, people that were coaches of mine back when I played. And it was really a good nostalgic memory thing for me. Plus it's a very good honor to be picked as, you know, good enough to be a member of this group. Because this area has had in the past, and still does, a lot of outstanding players in basketball, football, baseball, wrestling, and so forth. So this area, for a small area, has had a lot of very good athletes. So to be one of those, I think, was a big deal to me.
now, let me ask you guys, do you think or hope that other areas, I guess other areas in North Georgia, look at your model and maybe try to follow in your footsteps?
Man, I think they already have. We had some representatives at our banquet last April from a few high schools in the area. As I think Coach Foster said, we have a lot of talented people, so we've got a website. It's just, I'm not a computer guy, but it just blows me away when I see what our webmaster has done. So I think a lot of people, a lot of counties, a lot of schools in this area look at what we're doing, and I think they're impressed because I think we're doing it the right way. Of course, we looked at others also. Coach Foster's hometown is Lenore City. The people up there were gracious enough to let me come up there several times and pick their brains, see what they've done, ask them what, you know, pick and copy some of the things they did right and avoid some of the things that they admitted to us that they had done wrong. So we hope we're a model, but that's, you know, that's not our purpose to be a model. Our purpose is to honor individuals and teams in our area who made significant accomplishments to our community in the area of athletics. And as an offshoot, Coach Foster's case, the helping young men and women mature, grow through sports, helping them later on in life. So that's our main purpose. It's just take that part of existence, society, everyday life, and honor those people who excel in that area.
Let me mention one other thing. We have another category that we will induct eventually, is what we call contributors. We have coaches and players already, and there may be people that just have contributed to athletics, maybe as a long-time scorekeeper, clock operator, working with the youth programs, people that have just spent a lot of time and effort to improve the overall athletics for people in the county. And we will eventually induct the person we call a contributor.
LT, have you had the privilege to go to our meeting in our rec center?
Yes, sir.
Well, that's just an example of how much athletics means to our community.
Yeah, it's a nice facility. Let me ask, I guess, one final question. Is there a morality clause? Like, is there a way someone can be ineligible for, let's say, like someone, like every town has their success stories, but there's also stories, you know, there's also the people who you might not want to honor. Is there a clause that excludes people who have maybe went on to nefarious futures after their time?
Well, that's a tough question. No, that's not in writing. But it's sort of an unwritten consideration, I guess. If we have someone who, well, let's say if OJ was from Fannin County, I don't think we can induct him. But you get different levels. You know, he knows if he was from Fannin County, would we induct him? Well, the main thing is athletic excellence and support. And you can get a lot of gray areas when you try to start evaluating what kind of people you're looking at. So I think we know. It's like pornography. Somebody said I can't define it, but I know when I see it.
Supreme Court.
I think that might be our philosophy at this point. But we have tried to avoid putting that particular aspect in words because it's tough, you know.
Right.
And when I was a kid, getting a divorce was a big deal.
Right.
It was a taboo. Well, it happens every day now. So if we were doing this in 1958, we might have had some members who said, well, we can't get divorced people in here.
Right.
But today, we'll take a divorced person.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, it's not in writing. But we do consider it.
All right, well,
our primary focus is to recognize outstanding athletes in the community, regardless of what sport they participate in. We also look at how they contribute to the community, as whether or not they've been good citizens, caretakers in the community. Obviously, we've got an outstanding athlete that, for whatever reason, lived a life of crime and been sentenced 30 years in prison. No, we're not going to consider that individual in most cases.
They might possibly get on the ballot, but they would have a tough time being elected.
So yes, citizenship does matter, but as Mike alluded to, it's something we consider as a board.